What's going on, everybody? The Iceman here on the Iceman's Wrestling Extreme Facebook page and Iceman's Return YouTube channel. Last night, WWE Payback was a breath of fresh air. And why, you say? Well, guess what? New talent got put over. And it's about time new talent got put over. And a lot of it was done in one pay-per-view. The reason why they had the pay-per-view a week after SummerSlam, I'm not really sure. I think it had something to do with Roman Reigns getting the Universal title, which we'll talk about in a moment. But the opening match was Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews, the United States champion. And, of course, with MVP and Shelton Benjamin sitting there watching and giving instructions to Bobby Lashley, who, for me, I've seen Lashley for a very, very long time. He's a very good talent. He was good talent when he was in TNA Impact. He was world champion there. He did a lot there. And then he came to the WWE, and they really didn't do anything to him. And, or with him, I should say. And then they put him with Lana, which I thought was a big mistake. Now he's with MVP. He ends up defeating Apollo Crews and becoming the new WWE United States champion. We also saw Big E Langston, well, let's just call him Big E because they don't call him Langston no more, go up against Sheamus. Another match. WWE is starting to push Big E since the New Day. Two of the three members obviously aren't there. Kofi's gone, Xavier Woods is gone, so it just leaves Big E. So Big E wants to make a name for himself, and last night's match against Sheamus was a big one. I wasn't sure who was going to win this match. I was actually shocked at the outcome. Big E defeated Sheamus. And again, Sheamus is a veteran in the ring. Hey, why not put over Big E, who's also been around for a number of years, but not as long as Sheamus has been. So that was a really good match as well. Another big put-over match. King Corbin against Matt Riddle, who's only been on SmackDown for a number of weeks now. The boy who comes in the ring with, slippers, kicks him off. He likes to wrestle barefoot. And him and Corbin have had a feud going on. And Corbin said right out, he just don't like this guy. And it was a fun match to watch. Who would have thought? I honestly thought Corbin was going to win this match, but WWE pulled a fast one. Matt Riddle wins it. So, guess what? Corbin puts over Matt Riddle. Awesome, King Corbin. Women's Tag Team title match. Bayley, Sasha Banks against Shayna Baszler, the Beast, and Nia Jax. I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure what was going to go on in this match. Bayley, really, her and Sasha have been such a big commodity to the WWE for quite some time. But I did think it was time, really, for Bayley 2 belts to lose a belt. And, of course, Sasha used to be a 2-belt, but she lost her WWE title to Asuka at SummerSlam, so she was Sasha 1 belt. And when it was all said and done, Baszler really did a number on Bayley and Sasha Banks. And Baszler used Sasha's arm to help choke out Bayley. Bayley taps out. So it's now Sasha, no belts, Bayley, 1 belt, and Baszler and Nia Jax are now women's champion in the WWE. You gotta love it. You really gotta love it. So, let's move on a little bit. Keith Lee, newcomer to Raw. Randy Orton, almost 20 years in the business, the legend killer. And honestly, before the pay-per-view started, I was contemplating over a lot of stuff. Randy Orton's got an ego, but I will say this. Randy Orton puts people over. Randy Orton has lost a lot of matches. He lost to Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. Would he lose 2 weeks in a row? If you thought about it, you'd say no way. Keith Lee comes in. It wasn't a long match. It was a good match. Keith Lee showed what he's got. Keith Lee, for a big man, 340 pounds, is very quick in the ring. Very, very agile. He took it to Randy Orton. Keith Lee beats Randy Orton. And I'll tell you, kudos to Randy Orton for putting over Keith Lee. I thought that was an awesome, awesome thing to do. I really did. So, Dominic and Rey Mysterio Jr. against Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy. Now this match, I was predicting that Dominic and Rey were going to win, but I was wrong at how they won. In my opinion, Seth Rollins has nothing to lose by getting pinned. This match was brutal. Dominic showed what he can do. Dominic's going to be a big star in the WWE if he stays here. He's learned a lot. He must have did a lot of good training with his dad, and Seth Rollins took him under his wing as well, and whatnot. Before everything is all developed. This was a fun match to watch. I honestly thought Dominic and Rey were going to win, and they did win. But I was actually surprised that Rey Mysterio got the pin on Buddy Murphy. I thought it should have been Dominic pinning Seth Rollins. Because Rollins, it doesn't matter if he gets pinned. He's the biggest star in the WWE, and he could have done it. Rollins, you could have put over Dominic Mysterio, but you didn't. I'm a little disappointed there, but guess what? It is what it is. Main event, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. The match started off just the two of them, and they were beating the hell out of each other, and it got to the point where the ring collapsed, and then you see Paul Heyman come out with Roman Reigns at the very, very last second. Heyman's got the contract. Roman Reigns signs the contract, goes out there, takes the chair to Bray Wyatt. Then he takes the chair to Braun Strowman. Then he ends up pinning Braun Strowman, and he's new Universal Champion. This match I did not like. I didn't like the way they choreographed it. They could have done it a lot bigger and a lot better. I don't know why they did it the way they did. And plus the fact, the pay-per-view started at 7 Eastern Time and it ended around 9:30 Eastern Time. So it was only like 2.5 hours, which I have no complaints about the 2.5 hour, 3 hour pay-per-view. But Roman, I don't know. I'm glad you're back. The way things went down is, why didn't Braun retain at SummerSlam if this was going to happen? Because to me, giving Bray the belt and then losing it just like that makes no sense. But then again, it sort of does, because Braun is the one who got pinned by Roman Reigns. So we're going to see a Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns feud in the near future. So WWE did a good job on Payback last night. I am so happy the younger talent got put over, and it's about time. We haven't seen this in many, many years, especially in a conglomerate at one time. And I totally enjoyed it. Matt Riddle, yes, kudos to you. Kudos to Corbin for, putting Riddle over. Big kudos to Randy Orton for putting over Keith Lee. And The women's tag titles, guess what? We're going to see eventually Sasha turn on Bayley because Bayley's got the swelled head. And if you watch SmackDown on Friday, Bayley made it a point to say to Sasha, you were Raw's women champion, but you can keep it for one day. And you saw the look that Sasha gave Bayley, so that's leaning into something. So anyway, Raw tonight. This is the Iceman here on the Iceman's Wrestling Extreme Facebook page and the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. Peace out, everybody. I hope you have all a great day, and we'll see you next time.